Well, there it is. The most evil thing in video games, the most dangerous, horrible thing that we're supposed to hate. Can you see it? Let me help you out. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit. Does it help? Maybe show you a little more. Yep, that's it. You're looking at some AI-generated artwork allegedly stuck onto a pole in Expedition 33. This is what the brouhaha is all about. If you're curious, these guys have just lost a couple of their awards, including the Game of the Year award from the Indie Game Development Award people from, I don't know. It's a new award show. The Indie Game Awards, what they're called. They're brand new. They've been around for 2 years. This year, they gave the award for Game of the Year, a couple other awards to Expedition 33. They took it away because they said they had used AI, generative AI, to create the game or help make the game or whatever. Now, a couple things before we get into it. To their credit, I mean, it says in the rules you can't use generative AI to make your game. And Expedition 33 did admit that they had slugged in placeholder textures, which is what we were looking at right here. A few days after it had been revealed by someone on Twitter that these were indeed textures generated by AI, the team came out and said, oh, well, those were just placeholder, and within 4 days they were replaced and these are gone now. Okay, so whether or not you believe the team or not, like they never expected anyone to care / be found out, depends, you know, your mileage will vary on how evil you think generative AI is, and if they felt the need to hide it. But they changed it, but they had run afoul of the rules of the committee, which said, hey, you can't use that stuff, man, at all. And so, okay, fine, fair. I think the whole thing is stupid. I think all game awards and creative awards are stupid. You're giving away something for creativity based on what? The best? And how can you even compare a game like Expedition 33 and Blueprints, which is the runner-up game that got it after they disqualified Expedition? They're just different experiences, different goals, right? But anyway, whatever, that exists. It's a thing. People like it, fine. So they lost their award. Some people are pissed off about it. Some people are happy about it. I wanted to give you my take on this brouhaha. First off, is it a brouhaha? I don't really think so. Since this story broke, and this is important, I'm not kind of saying, well, why are we talking about it, Jaffe? What I'm saying is, since the story broke, you would think if you go to Twitter, oh my God, the sky is falling. The sky's not falling. The sky's not falling at all. Check it out. This is Claire. This is Expedition 33. It's doing same as it ever was. 45,000 right now. 24 hours ago, it was 53. This is the week it broke. Nothing really changed. It's up on the weekend. Obviously, we're going into the holidays, but it doesn't seem like anybody's getting hit by this. It's in the top 10 of played games right now on Game Pass. Nobody's like, oh, we're not playing that anymore. Nobody cares. In my opinion, I don't think most people care. It's Tempest in a Teacup. So that's an important thing to know, right? Because nobody gives a shit. They just want to play some fucking games, and they don't want them to take forever to be made, right? Now, I think generative AI, when it comes to the artwork stuff, or all of it really, if you're scraping data from artists or people who own the art that haven't given consent and haven't given you the rights to use it, and you're not giving them credit or payment, and they want those things, there is a very valid argument to say that wouldn't it be great if we could do that? And I would say, yeah, it would be great. And I hope that there is some kind of regulation that comes along to allow for that in obvious cases where you're ripping off somebody, or the AI has ripped off somebody. But at the same time, though, you do start to question, well, what's the difference? Like, here's the design document, the very first thing I ever wrote for God of War, right? That's a picture of Gladiator at the top. Down to the bottom, or the middle, is a picture of Alien from H.R. Giger, okay? And the other two pictures are pictures of concept art from Jason the Argonauts from Ray Harryhausen's group. I gave this to my artist, and I said, this in this document, which is made up of all kinds of things that inspired me, that I ripped off from growing up with Clash of the Titans, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And then that went to Charlie Wynn, Ken Feldman, Cecil Kim. And then they had their lifetime of inspirations. And they used that to build what they did. So in some ways, it's kind of like, what is the real fucking difference? Did I have to write, or did Sony have to write Ridley Scott a check? Did PlayStation have to write Giger in the estate of Harryhausen a check because I clearly was influenced by his work? And you can argue, well, it's different between being influenced and scraping data. I don't know if that argument holds up. Why is it different? It's more like it's an emotional argument for these people. I don't mean the finance. Like, look, if you go in and you say, I want you to draw me a picture of Spider-Man that looks just like Todd McFarlane does it. Here's Todd's image, and this is what some AI did for me in the course of making this video. I'd say, okay, that starts to get a little goofy and unfair. And if Todd hasn't consented, maybe the rules should be if you publish something with generative AI and it's so clearly a ripoff of that guy or that girl's work, the same legal issues would apply, right? You would just have to go after the company that created the AI bot in some way that's fair, but it also takes into account that all artists rip other artists and creatives are inspired. You can say inspired, you can say rip off, you can say data scrape, but we're generative AI. We're bags of meat that are basically doing the same thing. We're scraping data from our experiences that have been fed into us by our own choices and society at large. And we spit out the stuff that makes sense to us to spit out based on that data. It's not that different. It's just a issue of speed and effectiveness. So I don't really have a problem with it for the most part. But I will say, as it relates to just game awards in general, I've been on nominating committees. I've been on juries. The whole thing is so goofy and stupid. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is. I know everybody likes a horse race and, enjoy it. I'm not like ban game awards. No, do whatever you want. I don't care. But be aware that these people voting and nominating, show me evidence that they've played every game that is on the list. Show me evidence that everybody who voted for Expedition 33 played it enough, be it to completion or at least 20 hours, to judge it, and also played every other game that was up for that same award. And I will show you about 5 people. So the whole thing is stupid to begin with. If you're really going to be like, we're very serious about our rules, really? I mean, that's fine. It's fine to have that rule. It's your awards, but where's the evidence in your FAQ, which I checked and I don't see it. You don't name the individuals that are on it. You say, it's, people from the press and influencers and creators and, okay, great, whatever. It's meaningless, just words. You're not giving me any specifics. But where's the evidence that those people actually had to go through a process in any of these awards, not just, Keeley's Award, Dice Award, where they actually had to play this shit. And it's not a popularity contest or, I know that game, or I like the guy who worked on that game. I want him to give me a job. Check, no. So if we're really going to go to war over, do they deserve their award? The floorboards of all these things are kind of rotten. I don't mean the people are. I don't mean they intend to make a show that's meaningless, but fundamentally, that's sort of what they have to begin with. You throw this in, okay. I mean, the game is no longer worthy because there was some fucking AI. I mean, that's fine. It's your rule. I'm not going to argue if the rule's stupid. I think it is, but whatever. Anyway, there you go. My take is that who gives a shit? These people are still playing their game, loving their game. Gamers complain all the time. Games take too long. They're too expensive. These guys put their game out for what? It's not a $70 or $80 game, is it? Let me see how much this costs. I think it's $10 or $20 less than the usual. Yeah, it's $60. For just the normal edition. So it's what, $10 to $20 cheaper. So it didn't cost as much to sell it to you. That's good. Made faster. Less team mouths to feed so people aren't getting laid off because the team was so big it couldn't sustain itself in pre-production of the next game. We don't like that either. Well, you know what? Get in a fucking time machine and go back to like SNES land and Genesis land. And that was great too. Hey, I made games during that era. I get it. But, shit, man. What do you get paid to complain? That's what it seems like. But again, I'm kind of a chaos agent, they say. I'm not trying to be. That's just kind of how the dice rolled when I was created. And I guess that's me. I don't look at this as anything other than, what? What are you doing? Shut up. So, go with God, do what you want. I hope you're having a great holiday season. I hope I've played about 10 minutes of this game. I need to spend some time with it this week, but I hope you're enjoying whatever you're playing. I hope you're healthy, you're well, you're safe out there and having a great Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it is you celebrate, or just having a good time. Be well, be safe. See you soon. Bye.